Welcome to the shop, guys. Today we are working on the Vibrance Wrangler. We are going to be doing a lift kit today that's a little bit different from your traditional lift kit. We've chosen as a base our rough country 3 1/4 inch lift kit. But instead of going with the complete kit with drop arms, we're going to do something a little bit different that's going to make this vehicle ride a lot better. So your traditional lift kit typically comes with just extended springs and something called a drop bracket, like this one right here. And what happens is you use the factory control arms and they simply relocate them somewhere lower. While it does accomplish the goal of lifting the Jeep up higher, it also gives you a new pinch point for when you're going off-road, which is something we wanted to avoid with this particular build. The focus of this Wrangler is going to be building something that does the Rubicon Trail really, really effectively. But to do that, it means we have to spend a little bit more money and do something a little bit more out of the box than what's already available. So we built this custom kit along with help from Rough Country to hopefully accomplish our goal of a comfortable ride on-road, as well as a vehicle that'll do really, really well off-road with very few concerns about pinching or hitting, bottoming out in certain areas that most lift kits kind of struggle to get over. What we've gone ahead and done is a few things. The traditional lift kit from Rough Country that we started with starts with your basic N3 shock. We've gone ahead and upgraded that to our V2 monotube from Rough Country. The cool thing about these guys, they're much lighter. They actually have an aluminum casing around them, so they cool off a lot better than the traditional shock does. So this is gonna last us hopefully a lot longer, especially off-road where they start to get hot, and they're gonna provide us a much more comfortable ride on-road. So the base lift kit for this vehicle uses a drop bracket to simply relocate the factory arms. That pinch point is what we're trying to avoid. And to do that, Rough Country actually sent us a set of their fully adjustable control arms. What this is going to allow us to do is to use the factory mounting points on the Wrangler to simply use an extended adjustable arm so we get more sway out of the arms when we need it without actually bringing that pinch point down. So this alone is going to make the ride a lot more comfortable on-road as well as off-road, making this a much more capable machine. So, the basic lift kit doesn't have all of these components. It only comes with the springs, your blocks for the rear, as well as your drop brackets. So though you see a lot of parts here, we'll actually only be using the ones we pick and choose. The drop brackets get to be eliminated. We get to use the full spring on this kit instead of using one with spacers to make the ride more comfortable. That's another reason why we chose this kit, because the springs don't need any spacing on top of it. You'll get full spring load all the time, which is a lot more comfortable on road. And then finally, the reason we started with a base lift kit and built off of that was that it gives us all the necessary screws, bolts, and washers that we're going to need to put this lift kit together. So by picking 2 lift kits and just taking what we want out of it, we get to build one really incredible lift kit that's going to provide everything we want to do. Rough Country does provide a lift kit that I believe starts at 4 1/2 inches with the extendable arms, but that's too high for what I want to do on this particular Wrangler. So we built a hybrid kit that you don't really have the ability to buy outright. You have to piece it together from Rough Country with the parts that they offer. I will link in the description below what we used on this lift, and I believe that when it's done, it's going to look awesome. So we've started by taking the wheels off of the vehicle. The first part of the disassembly, aside from the wheels, are going to get the axles to come loose from the rest of the body. Once we have that loose, we can go in there and replace the control arms. And if we can get the drive shaft off, we can dip the actual axle down and fit the new springs inside as well. So far, we've gone ahead and disassembled the important bits. So we have the spring out. The axle itself is no longer attached to the rest of the frame, except for this one control arm on this side and the other matching control arm. As we get everything removed, we're slowly raising the lift up and letting the axle hang out on these floor jacks. So that way we can go ahead and squeeze in the bigger spring and then put in the extended shock. Everything is going together, and instead of putting back the old control arms like they want us to, and put in the drop arm, we're gonna skip all of that, saving us hopefully an extra hour, and put in just the longer adjustable control arm in its place. This right here is the magic. This is what's gonna give us that extra flex without lowering and adding an extra pinch point. So far, we've got a lot progressed on it. We have the new shocks mounted already. They're looking really good, and I'm excited to feel how they're gonna ride. We've got the springs mounted, but because it is a custom lift kit, there are some things that we may have to go back and forth adjusting or putting in if we forget. It will receive a bigger bump stop, which is the one thing we're currently missing on it. So we're gonna re-drop everything and adjust the length of the control arms and add that bump stop. Hopefully, once everything's been redone and refixed, because the instructions don't really match up to what we're building, we'll be able to go in there and attach our new steering stabilizer. So this whole suspension, by the time we're done, will be completely new and feel like a totally different vehicle. So currently on the back of it, we have one of our guys here taking apart the rear end so we can go ahead and put in the extended shock. We're gonna go ahead and take the rear sway bars and put them in the front because the rear ones come with all new sway links. From there, we're gonna put in the new shocks and then hopefully put everything back together and we should be set. One of my favorite things about this lift kit are these arms right here. They come with some really, really nice high-end parts. These are gonna be a lot beefier than the old arms, which look like this, but they also come with greasable joints. So they should last a lot longer and ride a lot smoother. That's really the crux of this lift kit, is that we will get a full setup that can be adjusted for anything we want. It does take some time to put things together, but it's at my demand.